Today on Enrique's First Time Buyer channel, we are going to talk about whether you should get or not get a cosigner to purchase a home. Hey, welcome back. Enrique here with First West Financial. I am an expert on mortgages. Yes, I help people become homeowners, and I have a special place for all the first-time buyers. So this channel is dedicated to helping people become homeowners. We know that buying a home can be difficult and it can be confusing. So what we did is we created a great channel where we have videos that will teach you everything you need to know about buying a home. So don't forget to hit subscribe or go check out some of the other videos. We talk about everything: credit, real estate, how to find the perfect home, how to find the perfect loan. And we dispel a lot of rumors. And today we are going to talk about something that comes up a lot. So in order to qualify in many areas of the United States, especially here in California, sometimes it's difficult for a person to qualify by themselves. Maybe there is a person that doesn't have a spouse or a significant other. Sometimes we have a couple, but because of wages, they're not able to purchase a home because they don't qualify for the prices that are being offered. So very often they come to me and says, Enrique, what if I get a cosigner? Now that's the word that people use, cosigner. Now, that's a word that we are okay using. There's really a better term for that. But I want to break down for you whether it's a good idea to get a cosigner or not. So that way, before you get into finding someone to cosign for you, you want to be able to know the implications. You want to know whether that's a good idea or not a good idea, what's going to happen down the road, etc. So we're going to spend the next few minutes talking about cosigners and whether that's a smart idea or not. So first of all, let's break this down. Most loans, majority of the loans, not all of them, but the majority of the loans allow for a borrower to have a person co-sign on the note. We like to call those people non-occupant coborrowers. Why do we call them that? Well, first of all, because they're not going to occupy the home. So let's use some examples. Let's say your mom or your dad who have their own house say, you know what, I will help you buy a home. They become non-occupant coborrowers because they're going to be a coborrower with you, but they're not going to live in the house. Traditionally, a non-occupant coborrower should be a close relative, someone that you are very close with and familiar with, and we're going to break down why. So first of all, you need to know that banks allow it. It is allowed to do that. Now, what happens when you decide that you need to bring a cosigner? Well, typically you're going to bring the cosigner, like I said, because you don't qualify. So they are going to come in, they're going to fill out the application, they're going to have to provide all of their paperwork, W-2s, pay stubs, taxes if they're self-employed, ID. They are going to be able to, they're going to have to do all of that, just like you did when you qualified. They're going to have to allow their credit to be run. Yes, so they're going to be treated exactly the same as a regular borrower. A lot of people say, well, I'll co-sign for someone because I have really good credit, but I don't want to provide any paperwork. Well, then you cannot help them. Or some people say, well, I want to help, I make a lot of money, but I don't want them to run my credit. Then also you cannot help them. You have to be able to be open to help someone and do it the way that the rules of the bank require, which is provide everything, right? Now, the reason why they do that is because that person, the cosigner or the non-occupant coborrower, is equally responsible for the payments on the home. That's right. If your parents are going to cosign for you and you don't make the payments, they're going to go after your parents. If there's a foreclosure, it's going to affect them. If there's late payments, it's going to affect them. That is the reason why we always tell people, be very careful that you know that the cosigner understands the rules of how this works. We recommend that it's someone you really trust. Recently, someone came to me and says, you know what, my coworker wants to cosign. And I said, you know what, that's not advisable. This is just a coworker. You know, you need to go with someone you can trust, someone like your family, your parents, maybe a sister, a brother, maybe your children, someone that you know is going to be able to help you all the way through. Now, people ask me all the time, if I co-sign for someone, or if my mom co-signs for me, how quickly can I get them off the loan, right? Well, first of all, you're not going to be able to get them off the loan or off the title. You're going to have to refinance the home to remove the cosigner, which means you're going to have to qualify by yourself. So it happens very often. I have a person the other day, she says, you know, I want to be able to qualify, but I can't, but my sister's going to co-sign. Great. He says, well, how quickly can we get her off? Well, I look at the situation. I said, well, are you planning on getting a big raise? No. Are you planning on paying off your vehicles? No. I said, then you cannot put your sister there, because in 2 or 3 years, your situation may be the same. You need to be in a position where you qualify by yourself. And in order to do that, you need to have the prospect. Now, I've had people that said, well, I want to put this person in just a couple of years, and then after that, I'm planning on starting our own business, or maybe we'll just sell the house, or by then I'll be married and my husband is going to be able to be with me. That's a different story. But remember, when a person cosigns for you, they are stuck with you. They're going to be attached to that property, right? Now, people come to me all the time and say, hey, I co-signed for a cousin of mine. Can I get some advice? I want to get out of that loan. I said, well, did you know that you were going to be? No, nobody told me. Make sure that you inform people how it works, that you are attached to that house. You are responsible. You're on the title. You're on the loan. Everything is going to affect you, right? Now, non-occupant co-borrowers or cosigners, they're a good thing. They help a lot of people buy homes, especially when parents are helping their children, or a brother is helping a sister or something like that. In a few years, they're able to refinance and get going by themselves. So it helps a lot of people get into houses, but a lot of people take it very lightly. So my advice is sit down with a mortgage broker, make sure that both parties are present, and find out what are the pros and cons. People say to me all the time, is this going to affect me? Yes, it's going to affect you. Your credit is going to be affected. Your potential ability to buy your own home may be affected. Not always, but sometimes. If the person decides to make a change in life and they want to, that happens. Another thing that happens is this, and you have to know this, is that if the person decides to sell the home, they're going to have to get the signature from the non-occupant co-borrower. He has to sign off, or she has to sign off. That can be a problem sometimes. Recently, we had a situation where these two children, or these two young people, had purchased a home and their mom had co-signed for them. But now the mom is living in the Philippines. That's right, she's overseas. They wanted to refinance, and then they decided, well, maybe we want to sell the house, but my mom is in the Philippines, so now we have to send the documents over to the Philippines. The mom had to travel to Manila, which is where the embassy is, and she had to go sign in front of a notary. The whole thing took 3 weeks to get done, because that person has to authorize the sale, because she's responsible for the transaction. So do not take co-signing lightly. This is a serious matter. Is it going to be a good idea to do that? Well, every case is different. So what I want you to do is I want you to talk to a broker, find out if getting a cosigner is a good idea or not for your situation. So that way, when you make a decision, you make an educated choice. Don't take it lightly. This is something that can be very, very, very careful. And if you're planning on co-signing for someone and that person has a history of not making payments on time, or maybe this person is irresponsible, you should think twice before signing, because that means there's a good chance that they're not going to make their payments. You're going to be stuck with late payments in your account. So think about all of that. We're always here to answer your questions. Don't forget to hit subscribe, or go check out our other videos as well. We're always here. Our information is right here on the bio. Have a great day and a great week. Talk to you soon.